So there is code on screen. Pause if you want to look at it. I'll take it down in about 3 seconds. But the reason why I'm going over this, and I actually would have done more aside from the fact that I rotated my mysteries except for taxi, is that you will see a bug with this. Maybe I could have done something wrong, but I'll show you if it happens. The short version as we go through the setup though is that even if the quote-unquote fire action fails, because you can use the fire weapon action with 0 bullets, I assume what happens is that it treats that action as a success, and therefore you deal damage, which, yeah, it's not the intended thing. But as we get into, hey, I messed up because I was supposed to do Katak. I think it's Katak Medical History. If it's not, well, that's what we're going to be playing with today. So, but yeah, that's the primary bug that I was testing out because I noticed that something odd was happening. Something odd was happening after I decided to ask, what happens if I ran out of bullets? Because theoretically, that's a failure. But, yeah. So, as we get into Katak Medical History custom character once more, we'll move on to another custom character after this, but the point I'm trying to make, if you skip to the timestamp here, is that if you fire a quote-unquote weapon with 0 bullets, maybe we get Flood. You know what? If we get Flood, that would be perfect, by the way. As we get Light, Takshisan, Strength, Second Mystery, Dexterity, and maybe a Knowledge check. But I assume the game treats that as the game's insides treat that as a success, and if you basically set up things in a way where something procs on a successful action, even though you're not dealing damage with the fire weapon action, you'll still get the effects. In my case, I said deal more damage because I wanted to basically fake dealing more damage on shoot, but that's a whole other thing. So, we don't have Flood, instead we have Vigil, Painting, Ward, Flat, and Taxi. I'm shrugging real life. We have 3 out-of-town mysteries. What a time to be alive, by the way. I guess we'll take Flat first. I know there's a boss at the end of this, but we don't want to stay out of town because I want to try to grab some bullets and other stuff. But I'll show you the bug if there's an opportune time to do it without losing the run. If we can't, shrug, I guess. So we have Taxi. Cough. You had to cough, and what's our high threat level? Forest? Ward, Vigil, yeah, it's kind of, I'm just gonna turn my brain off and set the police station to the village. Could have set it to the forest, but I'm just gonna set it to the village, and off we go. But otherwise, yeah, the idea I had was essentially, the overall arching theme was that I wanted to basically make a character do more damage on a certain action, in this case fire weapon, but it could be anything theoretically speaking. The band-aid fix that I just, if I want to just, do something quick with the quick band-aid that's not perfect, would be just to deal more deal bonus damage on top of the damage you do on a fire weapon action in the case of this character. But I digress. That's something else. Again, I didn't take a lot of time to look over things because I was busy looking at a certain spire that needed slaying on top of other things, by which I hear it's going to be around $25 USD, so if you are interested in that, that's my I'm not promoted by anyone, so to say that. Just letting you know that as we enter the 5th, around March 5th is when the game comes out, so yeah, that's all I have to say. Otherwise, we do get a bullet here, so we can at least benefit from the bonus damage, because the concept behind the concept was that I wanted to see if an extra point of damage would help out. I feel like it would, as we roll a 12 on knowledge. The game tried to sneak that past me, but shrug. I guess we'll see. Ooh, we could sell this. Yeah, we're gonna sell this. Before we enter Ward, but before the end of Taxi, I guess, is when I will do a thing. Keeping in mind that this boss is very, very chunky, so we'll do our best, but it depends on how lucky we are, and 70%. I think I had a spell as well, but this is an Eldritch enemy, so shrug. Also, we're on medical history, so pain. Well, wasn't planning to run, we're on Katak anyway, although, does Pocket Knife break that? Anyway. We're just gonna brace here. We need to do about 15 more HP in the next 5 turns, so literally hitting every single attack, but if we don't, well, we'll do our best. That's all I can say. I could library notes, I could also trade out, no, because then I can't even attack. I was gonna say brace, pray, or meditate, whatever, trade reason for stamina, but then again, sadness happens. So we missed more than 70% of our attacks, so shrug, I guess, but We'll deal. I don't know if there's a good way out of this, because even if we do this, we'd have to gamble, and fire weapon is not affected, but this would allow us to get out, and this actually, a point of damage here does make the difference. So you'll notice with the fire weapon action, we do 9, because I set it to do an extra point, it should do 10 if we hit this, and then we missed the attack, and I guess this will be a very short video for today. No, we'll do another one, because my little 2 mystery rule. So, off we go. And if you saw, I mean, if it didn't do 10 damage, that would be weird, because I literally tested things right before this recording. But, we'll do Cthulhu 7th Curse. Cthulhu 7th Curse, 3 custom mysteries because all perks, and fun times ahead. No allies, just curses, and off we go. So, but yeah, maybe if we get into a fight immediately that's like not as painful as Flat, then sure. Second mystery, second encounter, knowledge, Toxicon, dexterity, maybe a light check. Did Flat used to have a boss? I feel like it, for some reason, there was a point in which it didn't. But if it did, then, well, I mean, it probably was. If it didn't have a boss beforehand, it needed one. Now, having 40 plus HP and 3 stamina immediately, yeah, that's my fault for taking that first. I thought it was going to be not as hard. So, that's all I can defend myself with. So 3 custom mysteries right on the left, Flat again. So here's our salty run back, taxi as well. And then television. I realized I didn't put enough mysteries on the board, but that's fine. Because we also have footage coma. Still though, yeah, let's not take Flat first this time then. All 3 of these actually, taxi, television, torture, and Flat, are pretty bad. But you know what? I guess television is the nicer of the 3. Depending. Yeah, prepare still, because I think we're just gonna go in and try to grab something. We're gonna grab nothing. We do get Fujigo, who gets 7th Cursed, so I am going absolutely crazy. I'm gonna grab a pack of cigarettes instead. Well, I mean, we start with a weapon. This isn't the worst start. I didn't need to lose all that doom, though, so as we just take damage in the face, because stats don't matter. Yeah, again, I'll show you the firebug if I can show you it. Otherwise, again, later on in the week, we'll see what happens. I actually was doing something completely different on top of game dev, which is still a thing in itself. I am having problems with art, but that's fine. I can't pass a knowledge check just to save my life, but basically I was going to do something with table. I was going to do something else with Tabletop Simulator, but I guess that's not going to happen. Plus 515 experience with -1 reason and a stat check, but again, that's not the worst thing in the world. So, let's advance the mystery, 4 charisma for pain, 2 doom because no clues, and let's see what else we can do. I think we just go for, we have a bit more doom to work with. We can just get another pack of cigarettes. We probably should, all things considered, so roll a 12 on charisma. Like, stats really don't matter to me. So, I don't want a fire weapon here because ringing ears, so I probably should actually, you know what? No, because I was going to say I should add a status effect for characters with firearms like this, in which they don't get ringing ears, but I guess not. So, 70% is still 50-50, or 66%, that it's still not 70%, or, you know, you get the deal. Sadness happens. We do have footage, and this is a max threat level forest, I realized, but we are still going to use this pack of cigarettes. Please don't tell me that my cigarettes get incremented here, because we're just going to mash through this and use our dexterity, because that's all we have. So, let's find out. Yeah. I mean, we rolled an 8. We're going to pass a 5 dexterity check anyway. So, off we go. There was something I was going to mention. I do have notes, but let's just let this run its course, because we can do about 2 turns worth of this while I go check. I can't see the thing. Well, I guess I will save that for later. We do throw both attacks out still, but I just realized how bad this is. Well. 15 HP. Do we just go for it again? The same thing? Desperate prep, fire, attack? I think so. I am kind of buying time trying to look for my thingy-majiggy, but sadness happened to me, so I guess I guess I'm just gonna forget what I wanted to say. Not brace. Desperate struggle. Do 10 damage. That's really bad. This is really, really bad. Never mind, we're bracing. Or we could throw a brick. Yeah, you know what? Perfectly enough, throwing a brick helps. I don't know why I'm doing desperate. You know what? No, actually, we have desperate struggle. What am I doing with my life? Gambling, 90%. 12 damage. Fire weapon is... If I missed that, I would have been really sad. But the point I was thinking about in my head while I was stumbling around for the past 10 seconds was whether or not Desperate Struggle should affect fire action. Lore-wise, it wouldn't make sense because theoretically, desperate struggle, like you're getting a burst of adrenaline in your body. I'm guessing what happens. This is kind of just fan fiction at the moment. But why would that affect the bullet coming out of a gun? I guess unless you want to talk about critical hits, but that's a completely different story. Footage, coma, flat, taxi. We do have a lot of forest investigation, so you know what? Funny enough, we take taxi first because apparently it's less harmless than flat for some reason. I don't think that's true because the events in taxi can cause you to lose HP. So, you know, all things considered, I'm in a history club. We get nothing. 10 doom? Yeah, 10 doom. That's worth 10 doom. Yeah, my doom shot up through the roof, but shrug, man. I gotta survive. So, we are gonna get a pack of cigarettes here as well. So, we will have cigarettes for the next 2 mysteries. Will we have enough doom? Well, if RNG allows and stops rolling 12s on me, then maybe, but shrug, right? That was a fair roll, but no strength. So, I'll do my best. There's no way I'm not sitting on, I'm not very healthy right now anyway. In real life I am, but yeah, we have to do what we can do to survive. We can lower doom here. If we're gonna lose reason, might as well decrease doom, but I promise you this run is quickly spiraling on the downhill. Granted, again, I am not grabbing the ally as the game tries to sneak past an 8 roll. Yeah, trying to grab an ally on a 7th curse run isn't probably gonna work out for me. I'm just gonna go full throttle. Still can't fire a weapon. Okay, if I didn't say it, basically, yeah, I wanted to maybe add... Oh my goodness, what is 75% if it means nothing? Can you stop? 33% accuracy on 75? Come on. Anyway, yeah, basically add a status effect that blocks ringing ears. You can do that, by the way. I'm pretty sure you can. But if for some reason I'm forgetting how PERM works, then hey, so be it, right? But yeah, we do need these. I just need to keep using them, and I guess we just live with what we've got. I didn't know foreign cigarettes was 2 reason over 1. Goes to show how much I don't get that item, which you really don't, so shrug. But, yeah, well, I visited the Wish Tree on accident. Might as well take stamina. Fungal growth, who cares? My max stamina and max reason, I don't even care which fungal growth effects, is low. So, off we go. Yeah, not really much else to say. I mean, I could just run here, but for giggles, I want to fight these cars. So, yeah, let's find out. So, gun, question mark? Did we lose all of our ammo already? Really? All right, cool story. Take over the wheel. We're just going to drive, and we'll do our best. So, I really shouldn't do that as we get a Wilhelm screen in the background, but I'll do my best. Push it. Stop rolling 12s. Yeah, let's go on here. So, this is the last encounter. Unfortunately, my accuracy land. There's just a whole slew of variables for firearms that make them so bad. But if nothing else, I don't even want to fire these weapons. Oh man, like, do I have extremely just? By the way, I don't. So it's just pain. Yeah, we're just gonna take this damage in the face. I'll probably just end up throwing an empty bottle. Don't throw empty bottles in real life. That actually is quite harmful. But desperate struggle into fire shots, I guess. After desperate struggle turn. So, hope we do 16 damage. No, this is 14 damage. And shrug, I guess. We do our best. We fire weapon twice and hope for the best. So, 74%. Or spread them out for double 94%. If I miss one of these, sadness is going to happen. Okay, good. So, yeah, I think that was 10. I wasn't looking at the HP because I was just making sure. I was just watching if I missed one or not and preparing to scream. But as we get something cool for it, use Catch a Ride. Initial charge, 1 fund per investigation, 1 fund. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what this does. Summoning spell. I think that, yeah, well, we'll see. I do have 1 fun. I don't have 2, which is what I preferably want. You know what? For giggles, we'll try it out. So, I didn't even catch that last episode, by the way. Because if this is your first video for whatever reason, this is only available if you're using PERM and using this version. This hail ataxi on top of everything else you just saw is only if you have perm and only using certain version of the mystery. Into flat I go for our salty run back, although with 3 reason, I don't know how salty we can be. We do our best. We do our best. 3 reason. We'll see. Roll a 12, fine. At least I can show the bug here. So, we don't get the... Well, funny enough, here we don't get it. And I could probably come up with some reason why this would still do 1 damage. But if you look at the HP here, so watch 17% HP. And then, oh, he got hurt for some reason. And yeah, I think that's because this message being spit out, or the game treats it as a success. Even though that shouldn't happen. Now, there's probably a sophisticated way to look at it, but what I was doing, and I didn't have time to check for more possible ways to basically add damage on top of a certain specific type of action. Yeah, just me being lazy. I was going to do something else here, but I forgot. So yeah, off we go. Well, actually, considering we're in flat, right, never mind. Okay, we're back-to-back encounters. All right. Do we do our best here? Can I fit 3 attacks is the question. Yes. Gonna go for the 73.2%. Or 4%, I don't remember. Yeah, let's use this, by the way. Let's just see what we get. And, oh, that's right, we're on 7th curse, so... Oh, he stepped out of the cab just to get hit by a bus. Funny enough, trade stamina. And we do our best. Should actually equip this camera, by the way. And we're just gonna have to guess. At least nothing happens there, but that's another 12. How many 12s am I gonna roll? I think we've rolled at least 6 12s at this point. Okay, and then the game's like, haha, I won't roll a 12 for you, but I'll roll a 10. I can't. We have to prepare, by the way. But yeah. It's a 1-turn use, by the way. Interesting to note, but yeah. Yeah. I noticed that this removes the time. I think there's a, you know, I should probably look that up. I can probably just look it up myself. 6 stamina, 6 reason, though. Let's see if we can even survive. Okay, so this is a stamina damage encounter. We don't have the boost for firearm weapons, so this is going to be a really funny fight. We need to hit every one of these, basically, and if we don't, we get really sad. Keep in mind, this is with the camera as well, so we actually would have had about 80% accuracy, but I'm not going to complain about what we do and do not have. What I also could do is do attack and trade off reason, so that's another boon to us, question mark, but... yeah, it's still not looking good. If I want to gamble again, we could. Yeah, I was going to try to save HP. Don't miss this time. Okay, we did. I was going to miss one of the 90%. That's a